NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? I hope you're all right. You should be. You know why that is? Because it's Thursday. It's Thursday all day, and it is May 16. I'm your host, James Clement. You can see me on Fox Sports Lab NBA. You can also see me on the official AFL Supercoach podcast, as well as the AFL Today show. But here I am, just in this lovely studio. Got producer Gerald sitting over there munching on something. He's going nuts. It's pretty good. Awesome day today, because Cleveland are done. We're talking about Boston. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals again. We had some Draymond stuff pop off, which is always good. And when I say good, I mean bad. The Mavs, they're one game away. Every Mavs fan is so nervous. And so we'll cover off those game fives in Boston and Oklahoma City. But the cool part is we've got an update to the Boomers squad, Gerald. How good's that? We've got 5 cuts. That's not as good. I also think it's weird, but I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, we'll wrap up those game fives in the NBA Straya game race. We've got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some Unpopular the Unpopular Opinion of the Day, and Outback Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grilled take. There is an Andrew Gay's Great MAMBA Award for Outstanding Achievement. Sort of wanted to change that around a little bit, but I didn't have the perfect segment for it, but we'll talk that out. And we'll pick and preview the single game tomorrow, because the NBA schedule maker's like, oh yeah, we'll just have one game tomorrow. I'm like, that's cool by Jim. Simple as that. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1098 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go.
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shaq Attack.
Oh, you better. Tell you what, better watch out for the Draymond attack as well. Just the inside the NBA, Gerald. Like, you know, the studio show, you've got Shaq, you've got Kenny, he doesn't do fucking anything. You got Charles. They bring in Draymond today, right? Notorious dickhead Draymond Green. We have the Dickhead of the Week, the Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Week award each week. And Draymond just right off the bat just wins it again. Just within 5 minutes of being on TV, you're like, oh yeah, he's a dickhead. Bang, done. But gotta watch out for the Shaq Attack. Shaq missed a layup, which is pretty funny in the studio. I do love it when they just sort of get them out there on the actual court and they're doing stuff. It's kind of fun, because then just the Hooper vibe comes out. Kenny, he's a pain in the ass and he sucks and he's not funny. But he did hit a sick three. He's talking trash. Shaq missed a layup and everyone clowned him. That was pretty fun. I like it when that happens. I just wish they'd had a three-point shooting, I don't know, between like Draymond and like Lefko or something. But anyway, there's also the Shaq Attack where Shaq was like, you know how I knew that the NBA was scripted? Phil Jackson came in and said, oh, better book some rooms for Indiana, because that's who we're going to be playing in the finals. And he's like, that's because the NBA is scripted. So I don't know, is it Shaq, or is it because your comprehension of arguments and Phil Jackson going, well, they're clearly the best team in the East. That's who we'll be playing in the finals. And you understanding that that's what Phil was talking about, going, no, it must be scripted. They've got to script it out. I'm just saying, that's probably on you, big fella. That's probably on you. It's Phil Jackson going, I just watched those guys play. They're awesome. And Shaq's like, this is all script. It's just ridiculous. I love it. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show, with a daily whoosh. Let's do it. Tibbs might have a bit of a job there in New York to keep on doing, you see. Because Tibbs might be sticking around. A long-term extension is being mooted for Tibbs out there in New York City, approaching $10 million annually, which is pretty bloody good. Tibbs has already proven, like, I always love it when people go, we're going to extend Tibbs. It's like, are you though? Or are you going to get 2 years into this extension and go, wow, we have to pay him out a lot when we fire him? Because there is a use-by date for Tom Thibodeau, isn't there? So thing is, he just sort of really meshes with this Knicks team, the identity of the city as well, because all Knicks fans have basically ever wanted, since like the 90s Pat Riley Knicks, is just hard-nosed teams. The Jeff Van Gundy stuff was always a bit wonky and weird. But simple vibes, they're just like Pat Riley, hard ass. Awesome, tough teams. What do they got now? Tom Thibodeau, hard ass. What do they got? Tough-nosed team. They love it. So Knicks fans are like, fuck it, we're never going to get sick of this. We're on board. $10 million a year for Tom Thibodeau. What a world we live in. Failing in 2 other stops. Chicago did pretty well. Minnesota didn't go as well. And now he's here in the Knickerbockers and they're laughing. I do like that their entire approach to team building as well was like, let's just get college teams together. It'll either be like Kentucky or Villanova. It's pretty smart. I kind of like it. Anyway, other news. So Cleveland. I don't have the button on here, so I do it in the air. Gerald, have you noticed that? I'm just like, I press the Cleveland button. I say the Cleveland. I love a good, now they've been knocked out. Shams presses publish. And out comes the story about how dysfunctional they are. It is absolutely remarkable how he does it. It happened in the first round. It's happened now in the second round. It happened in the playing games. He's just like, yep, Darvin Ham, fucking done. Skadoosh in the first round. Playing games like, these guys suck. Publish, bang. This one for the Cleveland team was very much like, Shams is just sitting on this the entire time going, yeah, so it turns out Donovan Mitchell fucking hates JB Bickerstaff, bro. And you're like, all right. Feel like should have reported that, right? That's your job as a reporter, or is it your job to get a shit ton of clicks to publish that right after they've been ousted out of the playoffs because you don't want to burn any bridges during the season? Does that make you a journalist, Gerald, or does it make you a shill? I'd say shill. Anywho, whatever. Amazing gear because Woj actually put out a tweet. Basically, can we do Woj's really nerdy? After an Eastern Conference semi-final loss to the Celtics with a shorthanded lineup, he didn't put A in there with shorthanded lineup. Journalist. Cavaliers plan to take Cavaliers plan to take time to evaluate coach JBG because future man. But but none of this sentence doesn't make any sense, Woj. What are you doing? You're a writer, apparently. Anyway, but organisation remains fond of him and marketplace is sparse of proven candidates. I love the wording. They remain fond of him. That's how you talk about an ex-girlfriend. It's like, look, we broke up, but we're still on talking terms. We remain fond of each other. We're not going to root anymore, but we remain fond. There'll be a lot of conversations on different ways to proceed for a franchise that reached the Eastern semis for first time since 2018. He's just missing, my 5-year-old is currently learning how to structure sentences. Woj can't do this. What are we doing? This is horrible. Anyway, then Shams has press publish on his piece. Donnie Mitchell did not have great confidence in Bickerstaff, and he was not alone. Several players questioned Bickerstaff's strategies, game management, practice habits, and accountability measures privately and publicly throughout the season. I.e., shit-canned, scapegoat, done. Tough one, but it's always interesting when you have Woj versus Shams. Sort of like, Woj goes, yeah, look, they'll probably take a cautious approach. It's all, they remain fond of each other. And Shams just like, Donnie Mitchell hates him, bang, 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 and just like, let's fucking loose both barrels. It's sick. Nice one. So look, bit of upheaval maybe in Cleveland, trading Donnie Mitchell. There's always the talk about his extension, which is around the $270 million mark for the Cavs. Another team can only offer him $200 million for 4 years. So I don't know. Donnie Mitchell seems like the bloke who will get the money, but also then demand the trade under the table, just like really quietly. So we'll see what happens. Sign and trade, question mark. Anywho, other news, the Boomers squad has been cut down. We lose 5 players from our 22-man squad. Who are they, Jim? Well, we say goodbye to Willie McDowell White, Nananu Pinder, Keanu Pinder. I don't know why it is, but saying Nananu always just fucking kills me. Rocco Zakarsky, I love Rocco. Sam Froling and Johnny Furphy. Tins himself. Do you like that one, Joe? Johnny Furphy. I love a good tin. It leaves, obviously, Cookie, Jock, Dyson, Will the Thrill Magnay, Will the Thrill, Daly, Jack McVeigh, Dante Sexum up X, and Paddy Thrills Mills, Josh Giddy Up, The Great Barrier Reef, Bubbles Goulding, Aussie Matty T, Josh Greeny Green, DJ, Jingler Joe Ingles, Jack White, who just signed with Melbourne United, which means Luke Travers is probably on his way out, and to Cleveland likely, and my best mate, Nick Kay, which is kind of fun. Should be on the show again soon. So that's what's that, 17? We're going to cut another 5. which is just a giant kick in the dick because that is a pretty solid 17 at the moment, right? My guess is we probably lose, I don't know, probably DJ. Outside of this, I got no idea. Delhi? I don't want to miss out on Delhi. He was the one thing. Why did we suck at the World Cup, Jim? We didn't have Delhi. Simple as that, if you ask me. Anyway, we'll talk about that as we sort of get to the idealized version of Jim's Boomers Olympic squad as we get closer to the actual thing. It's going to be interesting, though, just to see the simple idea like of some guys that we actually have, I mean, a little bit of positional overlap. Probably you don't need to take Will the Thrill as well as Duop, as well as Jock. And so we might not need three bigs, that sort of vibe. Jack McVeigh might be the unlucky one. Delhi, DJ, Bubbles. I don't know if you take Jack White and Cookie. Like we sort of saw that last time. Nick Kay, maybe he's on the bubble. It's just a really tough one. Anyway, let's do some game wraps though, because that's all for the news. Game wraps. Let's do it. Boston-Cleveland, Game 5. Say goodbye to your Cleveland Cavaliers. They put up a fight though, Gerald. They put up a fight. My entire point was going to this game, they're going to get rolled. They did not have Donovan Mitchell. They did not have Go the Fro Jared Allen. They did not even have my sweet baby Karis LeVert. They do have a Mook Morris though. And he's like, hey, tonight's a really good night for a season high for me, Mook Morris, just to completely fuck with Jim and his tips and his bets. Thanks a lot, Mook Morris. Just another fucking notch on the belt of you being a jerk. But anyway, Mook Morris like just got them off to a flyer. And it really sort of took like Al Horford going sick at the start of the third quarter and 11 straight points from Boston to really sort of take control of this game because Cleveland just sort of stuck with them. Mobley was awesome. You had a lot of Mook Morris early on. The weirdest part was the Darius Rucker, Judy Garland was kind of shit. And they were only down 6 at the half. And you're like, this is just going strange. What is happening? And Cleveland, the biggest problem was they couldn't quite eke into the lead enough. But it's like, as I said, like Horford goes a bit of apeshit at the start of the third quarter. They get up and you're like, oh, okay, this is probably over here. Cleveland come from the fucking clouds again. They stop Boston from scoring for basically 4 minutes. And boom, it's a 6-point game with like 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. And you're like, oh God, are Boston going to shit down their legs quite no, they're okay now. They got back up. Another big run by the end of the third from the Cavs. They keep it within what? It was 7, I think, in going into the fourth quarter. And then Boston, it was a 3-point game. Mook Morris hits a 3. It's 86-83. And you're like, what is going on? Are Cleveland somehow going to steal this game in Boston? And then it was all over Red Rover. He and Mobley were shredding the Celtics D at the start of that fourth quarter, but then Derek White finally hits another 3. Tatum hits a little bit, 3 of a little bit later as well, but Horford goes bang in between, gets that Boston crowd up off their feet, and I do love when they cut to that Boston crowd, you're like, that's a lot of white folk. It's just like Al Horford's dad, and he's like, yeah, I don't feel safe. It's fucked. God love you, Boston, but fucking hell, mate. But Horford hit a 3, and then he has this layup. Boom. The Celtics are back up 11. Tatum smokes a 3 after Garland misses another fucking shot. And it's basically Celtics by 14 with 6.5 minutes left. There was a second there after Mobley has like a sick bucket off a back cut. And then he hits free throws with like 3.5 minutes left. It's back down to 9 fucking points. And if you'd listened to me in my morning video, the old drop-off playoff picks, I'm like, yeah, look, Boston should run right over the top of them. And they do to that point. They're back up 14. That's when you make it 20. Pack her up, boys. We're all done. You just can't trust Boston, though. Game 1, they win by 25 fucking points. This one, they sort of just fell over the line by being up 14. Jrue Holiday hits a massive 3 with like 3 minutes left. And that was that, right? Mobley misses another shot. It's pack her up, boys. It's a 14-point game after Holiday then hits a layup. And that's it. The Boston Celtics have won. Tatum was fantastic. Horford turns back the clock, turns into like, I don't know, Atlanta Horford. Like it was unreal. And the Cavs just, without Donnie Mitchell, without Go the Fro Jared Allen, and without my sweet baby Karis LeVert, they never had the second scorer clearly to sort of do much. But then Mook Morris sort of pops his head up and you're like, where the fuck was this the entire series, Mook? And he's like, don't care, man. Just had to show them that they should keep me around next year. Got to get that next contract. And you're like, all right, dickhead. Anyway, Cavs, 13 of 31 from three, 10 turnovers, only 12 free throws. 9 of 12 they went from the line. Mobley played his best game probably of the season. 33, 7 and 4. I love Mobley, you know this, just because mostly I love saying Mobley, but basically because he reminds me of a young KG. 1 steal, a couple of blocks. He shot 15 of 24 from the floor, Mobley, 0 of 3 from downtown. That's the one thing of his game he's got to work on a little bit. Mook Morris has 25 points out of fucking nowhere, 10 of 13 from the floor, 5 of 6 from downtown. Like, I love it. Boston are like, go on, what are you going to do, hit it? And he's like, yes. And they're like, whatever. Darius Garland was bad, though. He got the biggest contract in Cleveland Cavaliers history and an elimination game just shit down his leg. 11 points, 9 assists. He shot 4 of 17. He's going to pop up again in a second, spoiler alert. Strus, 3 of 7 from downtown. They needed more from Strus in this one too. 12 points. Sam Merrill goes 3 of 5 for his 9 points. They were all from downtown. Okoro, only 12 minutes, 5 points. Dean Wade, the other D Wade, 1 of 3 in 22 minutes. The Cavs were just completely cooked by injuries. They put up a fight. Good on them. Celtics ran over the top and they hit 19 of 43 from downtown. Not bloody bad, Boston. I'll tell you that much. 53.5% from the floor just in general. Horford was incredible. 22, 15, and 5 assists. You're taking the piss, mate. You're a million years old. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to get out of my walking chair and just do this. Walking chair? Give him a walking frame. There we go. Wheelchair, walking frame. I just mixed them together. That was good. Tatum has 25, 10, and 9. Nearly has a triple-double. Awesome game for him. 4 steals, 9 of 16 from the floor, 3 of 7 from downtown. There was a pretty fun aspect in this where they're like, yeah, he just sort of needs to understand that when it's like take overtime, it doesn't mean that he has to score each time. And this time he was a little bit wobbly, but he played a really good game. 18 for Derek White. A very sort of middling Derek White game. He went 4 of 9 from downtown, 6 assists, 7 of 17 shooting overall. Jaylen Brown was just like, I think we've got this, boys. 11, 4, and 7 for him. Drew Holiday, though, his like re-emergence on offense has been basically the catalyst for Boston like running roughshod over the Cavs over the last 3 games. So it's very handy timing, I guess, if you're a Boston fan. 13, 3, and 4, 5 and 9 from the floor. Him. Bench, 11 points for Pritchard. He had 3 threes. Cornette had 8 points. Hauser had 5 and 4. Very handy day as well for their bench to step up. Celtics, they win this series 4-1. This is huge unless you're Draymond Green. He's like, going to the Eastern Conference Finals doesn't mean shit. Everybody else with half a fucking brain is like, that's actually pretty impressive. That's it's 3 straight Eastern Conference Finals. It's 6 Eastern Conference Finals in the last 8 years for the Boston Celtics, which is pretty remarkable because the way my stupid, dumb brain works is I think about the NBA in epochs, right? Eras. And it's really sort of difficult to look at the Boston Celtics of the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum era. And I'll talk about this in a second in YNRs. But it's not like a wildly defining era for this NBA, right? Like, despite going to 6 Eastern Conference Finals in 8 years, like that's some fucking absolute like dynasty shit. But the problem is, in that time, how many finals have they made? 1. Like that's the big problem, right? Just really tough shit. But anyway, awesome stuff for the Boston Celtics. They're going to be stoked because this is like a fucking walkover to the finals this year. Whoever gets through Knicks Indy, god damn, pour one out. Boston, as long as the extreme zinger meal comes back, they should be laughing. Right, but that's done. They're into the next round. How about Dallas OKC Game 5? Well, this was a really interesting game because Dallas win at 104-92 rather. Really interesting first quarter. OKC, in all their anti-Strayan bias glory, bench Josh Giddey for the first time in his entire NBA career. And what happens? They lose the fucking game. A, sucked in dickheads. B, really sucked in dickheads. C, give me back my team. I miss the Seattle Supersonics. Also, this was a great start though for the OKC Thunder. They're like, we're a bit quicker. We've got a shooter. They're not just fading off Josh Giddey every time he touches the fucking ball. And then the Mavs just go, oh, we spotted them a pretty handy lead. Let's just hit our next 5 shots and go on like a 12-0 run. and then just never give the lead up again. And you're like, geez, that's a pretty good approach. I don't mind that. Because Derrick Jones Jr. smokes a couple of threes, right? He scored like 8 points out of fucking nowhere. Isaiah Joe and Dort hit a couple of threes as well. They bring off Jaden Hardy off the bench as well in place of our man, Dante Exum, a.k.a. Kangaroo Kobe. Now, you might think, geez, it sounds like Jason Kidd doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And you'd probably be right because Jaden Hardy didn't do a giant amount and they still won. But my point earlier about basically how they went on that run, took the lead and then never gave it back. Like, it's weird, but that's exactly what happened. Because, like, what they did in this game rather than what they did in game 4 was it's literally a Josh Giddey 3 at the start of the second quarter. It's a 1-point game. A 1-point game. I think it's like 24-26 or something. 25-26. Is that right? Probably. 28-27. There we go. I got there. Then Dallas just go, how about another 12-0 run? And it's never going to be close again. That's what happened. It was absolutely gnarly because what they didn't do in game 4 was have it above that sort of 10-point mark. And what they did for most of this game was go, every time you score, we will score. And we'll keep that up all the way through to the end of the game. And it literally never got close again until like right at the end, which I'll get to. But it was their size in the paint. It was Kyrie hitting some shots. Lucas serving it all up. He's throwing fucking three-quarter court lobs to Derrick Jones Jr. Well, he threw that one to Lively, right? He's throwing lob after lob to PJ Hamilton Washington to Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. was incredible in that first half. He just gave them a massive kick in the ass and basically got them going. Because PJ Hamilton Washington, look, my entire point, I think, about picking OKC in this game was that PJ Hamilton Washington couldn't keep this up. Guess what? He couldn't. I fucking nailed that part. The problem was the other dudes on Dallas actually stepped up, including Derrick Jones Jr. So they just sort of kept going back and forth, making buckets when they needed to. And this was all orchestrated by Luka. He was so good today. Like, they stayed up 12, 13, 14 points all game. And that makes such a huge difference than what they were doing in game 4, when they were sort of always up 9. Because if you give a bucket up when you're up 9, Gerald, what happens then? You're only up 7, possibly 6, you know? It's an and one out of somewhere and you're like, fuck, now it's a 2-possession game. If you're up 12 and you give up a bucket, what are you up still? 10, 9 or 10, right? And you feel pretty good about yourself because it's still a fucking double-digit lead. You hit a shot and you're up 12. It could be you're suddenly up 15. It is such a huge mental edge that you can ride that to a pretty commanding fucking win. They even went scoreless, basically, did the Mavericks in the fourth quarter, right? They're up 15. And there was a moment in that fourth quarter, you're like, is this where Dallas shit the bed? Is it? And they dragged it down to 7 points. 7. And then out of absolutely nowhere, fucking PJ Hamilton Washington pops up and hits a 3 and boom, you're back up 10. And you're like, pack her up, boys, we're done here. It was incredible. Like, it was just such a really masterful way of keeping OKC at arm's length. Their defense was fantastic. They shut down everybody. SGA is just like, I have never worked so fucking hard for buckets in my life. And he still had 30. He shot 12 of 22. He was on unfucking real. But the key point was, in that third quarter, which is where you're sort of trying to ride the roller coaster, I think it got to 9 points 3 different times, and at each exact moment, the Mavericks scored on the next possession. They're just like, that's cute, check this out, whoopang. Like, it was really, really fucking important that they kept that momentum up. You're on the road, you're in OKC, you've got that really dorky crowd all wearing their t-shirts, God bless them. But they sort of took the crowd out of it, and when you're always down 10, always down 12, like, as a fucking fan, you're just like, oh, God, I hope we make a run. And when you're not allowed to, it just takes the crowd out of it completely. Like, when they had that little run in that fourth quarter, Chet has that dunk with like 5 minutes to go. It's down to 7. And then straight away, PJ Hamilton Washington hits a 3. You're like, oh, well, that was fun. And there you go. They only went 10 of 40 from downtown as well. This is the big problem with the Thunder. When they're walling off the paint and you can't hit threes, you're fucked, mate. And that's exactly what happened in this game. SGA has 38 and 6. That's 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals and a block. Did bloody everything. 12 of 22 from the floor. 2 of 4 on threes as well. J-Dub, though, 12, 6 and 3. Dort shot 4 of 11 for 12 points. 3, what did he shoot? 2 of 8 from 3. Brutal. Chet goes 5 of 11. 1 of 5 from 3. 13 points, 4 rebounds. Chet, you're 7 foot fucking 20. How do you get 4 rebounds? That's 1 a quarter. You can get 1 a quarter by fucking mistake. What are you doing here? Anyway, Isaiah Joe, 2 of 8 from 3. Case and Wallace, 1 of 7 from 3. Shit day to have a shit shooting night. You know, they hit a couple more of those. They're off and rolling. I don't know. Maybe it's because they changed their fucking starting lineup and suddenly they realize, oh, wait a minute. SJ is not exactly a point guard. Josh Giddey's not there. And they're just like all falling apart. Giddey came off the bench. He went 1 of 3 from downtown. He had 11 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists. Only 6 turnovers to 14 for the teams, but they got smashed on the rebounds though. 46 to 33. The size of Lively, the size of Gafford. Amazingly, the Mavs beat them in points in the paint, 48 to 44. Second chance points, 12 to 5, and fast break points, 10 to 8, which is just, yeah, you got your ass kicked. 52% shooting from the Mavs from the floor, 14 to 35 from downtown. Again, I'm no math magician, but that's pretty bloody good. Especially when the other team went 10 to 40. Luka, 31, 10, and 11. Yeah, you could say he's back. I love it. He's like, oh, I'm so injured. I'm so fucking injured, fucking. Here's 12 of 22 shooting. Now he's fucking Transylvanian. He's just turned into a fucking member. I've come to shoot the threes. He went 5-11 from downtown. Oh, God. DJJ, Derrick Jones Jr., 19 points. He was unreal. 7 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from downtown. Did so much fucking damage. He's such a crazy vertical threat. And when you've got a wing who's a vertical threat as well as your big dudes, both Lively and Gafford who can catch lobs, it completely discombobulated the Thunder, who are, when they've got Joe out there, they're just a little bit small as well. 10, 10, and 4 for PJ Hamilton Washington. Didn't shoot it great, but he had 0 points in the first half, so at least sort of bounced back. Kyrie, 5-11 for only 12 points. Didn't need it because DJJ, Gafford, he had 9 and 7. Lively had 11 and 10. Greeny chucked in 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 5 from downtown. Love that in 18 minutes. But because Derrick Jones Jr. was going off and Luka's orchestrating it all and just like this egalitarian offense, Dallas looks so much better than when it's just the two dudes absolutely going hammer and tongs and no one else is getting a look. This is a way better approach. Great job, Dallas. Beat them up and won the game. They now lead 3-2. They go home for Game 6 with a chance to close it out. Will they? Maybe. Can they? Of course they can. Just don't know. I should reverse that, shouldn't I, Gerald? It's like, can they? Sure. Will they? Dunno. All right. So an NBA Straya Pro performance of the night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
That is a knife. Luka Doncic. He's like, this is very funny that you think you can come in and I come into your house and I beat your ass. Yes, that's very cool. Look, very sore. Yes. I'm not even sucking as much. See? 31, 11 and 10. Shoots 12 of 22, 5-11 from downtown. That is a hell of a score because he bloody well crushed it. Very, very happy with that. Now, average Al Horford, that's the actual winner here today. 22 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. He shoots 8 of 15 from the floor, but the best one was the 6 of 13 from downtown. Holy shit. That was pretty bloody good. Talk about, it's not even winding the clock back. He's just not doing those games in the fucking Atlanta 2008 series against the Celtics, who he ironically now plays for. This was just out of the blue. And it was it's crazy how important this game was from average Al Horford to put away the Cavs. They were so pesky. They were so annoying. They were just hanging around. And Al Horford's like, all right, fucking look, I want a couple of days off. This is bullshit. We're going to let the Knicks and Indy kick the fuck out of each other for a couple more days. I want to just go home and sit on the couch and watch the basketball. I don't want to play until next week. Can we do that, boys? All right, fucking jump on my back and we'll do it. And off you went. He's 300 years old. That's awesome. Great job, Al Horford. All right, what about Spud of the night?
Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. Darius Garland in that same game, as I mentioned, right? So the highest paid Cleveland Cavalier of all time in an elimination game gave you 11 points on 17 shots. Not great, Bob. Not great. 11 points, 9 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 0 of 4 from downtown, and shoots 4 of 17. That is just Spud-worthy gear. And the biggest thing for me, I think, was OKC. Look, I'll talk about their chances for Game 6 in a second, but J-Dub, Jalen Williams, that was a bad game. He had a couple of nice little flashes. He had a sick dunk and all this sort of stuff. But overall, what OKC needed in that game desperately was somebody else to step up next to SGA. All year, that's been Jalen Williams. Today, 12, 6, and 3. He shoots 6 of 13 and 0 of 3 from downtown. 3 fouls, a minus 12. It was just like everything was just a little bit off today for the Thunder, and a lot of it was to do with that lack of a secondary scorer, and that was Jalen Williams. So this 12, 6, and 3, it feels a bit tough to sort of ding him, but at the same time, like, he came alive at the back half of Game 4 and was just not there for this one, and that's just not quite good enough, and that's why you lose. It's tough, man. It's tough. What about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Well, it's SGA, because he's like, can you guys fucking help? Like, this is shit. I'm doing everything. Every game I've got to score 30. J-Dub, can you do something? I mean, it's all fucking well and good to do some barking. Woof, woof, we came back in Game 4. You're at home. You're going to close out Game 5. Where are the role players? He's like, I may as well be playing 1-on-5. I'm driving into the teeth of the defense. The Mavs, their defensive schemes are really fucking good in this game. They're just like, yeah, we're not going to let you guys get to the line and all that sort of shit. We're just going to ruin your day and make you hit a bunch of threes. And they did not hit a bunch of threes. They shot 10 free throws. 10. The entire Thunder team. You'd usually think that SGA would shoot 10 free throws by himself, but today he did not. Also, Jason Tatum versus Tony Brothers, the gift that keeps on giving. Talk about old mate, no mates. So, Gerald, just picture this. Jason Tatum, he's facing up against Darius Garland. He gives him the old 1-2 skidoo, rises up, nails a 3 in his face. Darius Garland is playing defense. He sort of swats at the ball and sort of falls into Tatum a little bit and sort of knocks him back, and Jason Tatum goes flying. He hits the 3, however, and he's like laying on the floor going, why am I on my ass if the defender did not jump into me? And Tony Brothers is just basically looking at him going, no, I didn't see anything. And Tatum like gets up and just like waves him off. And he's like, whatever. That's a tech foul. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, won't somebody please think of the children? He waved at a ref. Oh, next thing you know, the kids will be waving at their parents. Oh, we've got to stop them. We've got to make them be a really big example for like the kids. What are you fucking doing? Tony Brothers, he waves like, where's my fucking call? Waving. Meanwhile, and this has been a bugbear of mine for a while, Draymond Green can carry on like a fucking pork chop, jumping up and down like my 18-month-old having a tantrum, laying on the floor, kicking and fucking screaming, all this sort of shit. And the ref's are like, oh, it's Draymond being Draymond. It's like, no, he's being a precocious dipshit. Tatum is like, where's my call? Literally waves his hand. Tech foul. You're taking the piss, refs. Blow it out your ass. Anyway, pantsing of the night. This probably just goes to the OKC defense. Getting beat on so many back cuts for like sick alley-oops, it's always brutal. It looks awesome. But at the same time, your defense is like, oh, God damn it, I'm being dunked on again. Derrick Jones Jr. is just cramming through dudes. J-Dub did go right through the guts of the Dallas defense, though, for a sick dunk in that second quarter. But yeah, that's a lot of lobs. Like, that's the thing that Game 6, OKC is just like head on a fucking swivel. Head on a swivel. I'm not getting dunked on today. Also another pantsing, JJ Redick. I love it when Paul Pierce goes after people. Paul Pierce is like, if you want to hire JJ Redick because what he says on a podcast sounds good, go ahead. You hear him drawing up plays. It sounds like the right thing to do, like he's got a great IQ. It's like an IG model. It looks good. You scroll through the pics, but when you see it in person, it ain't what you think. It definitely sounds like to me Paul Pierce is like, I don't know, hit up a few IG models in his time and just they've gone to the house and he's like, I've made a horrible mistake. Better than Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. I didn't talk enough about Derek Lively in this game because he was fucking awesome. Ends up with off the bench, played 23 minutes. He was a plus 22. That is a team leading plus 22 in 23 minutes. He's a rookie, don't forget. Goes 3 of 4 from the floor. And most importantly for me, I love this, 5 of 6 at the line. There was even a point where they're like, maybe we should hack a Lively. And he's like, you can fucking try, dickheads. Whoopang. 11 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Obviously, all of those are better than Lonzo Ball's career playoff numbers because Lonzo's never played in a playoff game. But I was really impressed. The dude's a rookie. He kicked some ass and took some names in a huge spot. That is wildly important. Derek Lively, you rule. And you're better than Lonzo Ball. We do have an awesome Magic tweet of the week, but I'll save that for tomorrow because we don't have the drop in here. But it is great because it's Magic talking about the Knicks. I just want to read it out. Should we just read it out? Let's just fucking do it. Magic tweet of the day. My main man, Josh Hart, finished with an 18-point, 11-rebound double-double tonight. I call him Mr. Everything because he does a little bit of everything on the court. Thanks, Magic. That's why he calls him Mr. Everything. Glad we sorted that out. Tonight's unsung hero was Isaiah Hartenstein. His 12 offensive rebounds, 17 in total, were the key to the victory. It was a total domination by the New York Knicks tonight in every phase of the game. Defense, offense, three-point shooting, hustle, and physically. Overall, they gave an amazing team effort in their 121-91 win over the Pacers. What do we say? Thanks, Magic. His game recaps are just, he should work for the Associated Press at this point. I love it. And of course, Draymond's going to win Draymond Dickhead of the Week because I'll talk about it in a second. But him shitting on Tatum was fucking strange as, which I'll get to in Yanars, which will happen right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
and you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. Let's do some Yanars brought to you by the NBA Straya shop. Get your merch, NBAstraya.com/shop, or just click through on the socials. You get a t-shirt like this, cool one. Look at that. I'm all decked out. I think I'm wearing the exact same outfit I was wearing yesterday, Gerald, but because I have a number of these t-shirts, obviously, I go through them and wear them quite often. You know why? Because they're really good t-shirts. So you should buy one, just saying. Coffee mug, there's stickers. I'll throw in a sticker with every order. Anyway, let's do some Yanars. Dylan K. Love Dylan K. Jimmy, Giddy to the 76ers. Thoughts? Yeah, nah. Because the last thing that the Sixers need is another Australian point guard that can't shoot. Joel Embiid would just be like, I'm going to fucking kill every Australian I see. If that happens, he'd be like, nah, just fucking no. Look, in an ideal world, if Giddy did work on his shooting this offseason, there's probably other places that need him more, right? Like, I think in terms of what the Sixers do with Maxey at guard, they probably don't need a Gids. They need a bigger wing that can actually, like, basically not Tobias Harris, and they'd be laughing. But Giddy, you know where he would be good, though? Fuck, he'd be good in Orlando. Just the table setter. You know, they've got heaps of shooting on that team already. But the problem is because Franz also forgot how to shoot this past season, and so did sort of Gids to a degree. I want to see them both come back and be able to fucking knock down threes. What is happening to Josh Giddey at the moment is pretty shit. Like, he hit a three today, but at the same time, the way they're sagging off and he plays 12 minutes, he goes 1 of 3 from downtown. I just want to see him have one game where he goes, hey, check this out. I've gone 3 of 4 from downtown. Fucking suck a giant one, Dallas. Like, could that happen in game 6? Yeah, nah. Yeah, it could. It'd be fucking nice. He was doing it against the Pelicans. Literally last round. How short our memories are. But at the same time, I don't think he lands in Philly. Seriously, another point guard Australia that can't shoot. I don't know if that's the idea we want to roll with. Anyway, but from a meta point of view, is this a really good example of the Thunder copying their playoff knocks? Yeah, nah, yes. This is exactly why. Look, I thought they were really onto something in the back half of Game 4, right? They really found an offensive flow. Their defense kicked into gear. It might have also just been Dallas shitting down their legs quite expertly because Dallas do that just about better than anybody. But OKC, what you saw today was a team that just went, oh, we are pretty fucking young. Oh, God. Like J-Dub, Chet, Gids to a degree. Also, like Isaiah Joe, Case and Wallace, like the lack of the 10 of 40 from downtown. Like that's where that sort of comes from, right? You're in a massive spot. You're in basically what ought to be a must-win game. Game 5 at home. You win this, you're in the driver's seat. You lose, you're going on the road to Dallas. You could lose it in 6. Oh, Jesus Christ. Everything gets a little bit tighter. You're turtlenecking the entire time. It's just a little bit fucking cooked. This is exactly the idea of copying your playoff knocks. Every team goes through it. Every team. Apart from like the 08 Celtics. But at the same time, that was a team of veterans that had been all thrown together at the last minute, right? So it is a strange one. But that was the exact perfect example of this where I probably should have leaned into my idea of the Mavs and all those veterans. But at the same time, I was onto something about the PJ Hamilton-Washington game. Unfortunately, it was also the other guys who really stepped up. So cook that pick, I'll tell you. The other one is Draymond Green correct? In all of his dickheadedness, there we go. He's like, hey, you know what no one fucking cares about, man? Fucking no one cares that Boston's in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm like, well, they'd probably care more if they weren't. Right? Every Boston fan will be like, dude, what the fuck? Draymond does have a little point though. A little bit of a point though, but what is this? 6 and 8 years. 3 straight. At this point, it doesn't matter making the Eastern, like that should be not your goal. Your goal is the finals and your goal is to win the title. So in that degree, he is correct. The worst type of correct, when Draymond Green is correct. But it still matters because you've still got to make the fucking Eastern Conference Finals, right? And it's really hard to do that year on year on year. And as I said, like it doesn't feel like it's been the Tatum and Brown era of the Eastern Conference, but it kind of is. But it'll feel a lot more like that if they make another finals and if they fucking win it, I'll tell you. So they kind of actually do have to win it this year or else you'll be sort of sitting there going, what the fuck else we got to do? You know, maybe with the zingers there, they're all good. Speaking of which, a bit of a unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I don't know if it's unpopular, but Draymond, like, all right, the unpopular opinion of the day is that inside the NBA, the fact that they were grooming Draymond Green to sort of take over at one point, well, at this point, right, they're sort of like, hey, Draymond, we're going to sign you to a contract here at fucking Turner and you'll be able to take over a spot on the inside of the NBA whenever you retire. It might be a good thing that inside the NBA goes away because I don't have to bitch and moan about Draymond Green for the next fucking 2 decades. Just like, God damn it, he said a stupid thing again. I'm so angry all the time. Like, that's basically how to be. But at the same time, Draymond is just trying way too fucking hard to be controversial. Like, he's just dragging Jason Tatum for like, hey, Jason, what you've achieved doesn't mean shit. You're like, dude, he just won through to the Eastern Conference Finals. Fucking settle down, mate. He's like the Kane Corns, but if Kane Corns had like Brian Lake's career, where it's like, I guess you're instrumental to a bunch of titles. So now you get to mouth off, I guess. But at the same time, you're a bonehead. So there we go. All right. What about the Outback Takehouse for today? It's Thursday at Outback. You know what that means? Oh, yeah. 2 for 1 blooming onions. That's right. No prick knows what the fuck these things are back down in Straya. What is it? Some sort of deep fried onion made to look like a flower? What the fuck are you yanks on about? That is just insane, heart-stopping shit. No wonder you're all fucking fat and dead. When you're not busy shooting each other, you're fucking basically clogging up those arteries with fucking flowers that are deep fried and made of onion? What the fuck goes on over there? Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill Take is, jeez, the Cavs threw that game 5, to make sure that JB Bickerstaff does not come back because they all clearly fucking hate the dude. Also, the Thunder are going to lose this series if they don't revert back to starting Josh Giddey, because that's what happens. You don't play your Aussies, you lose the bloody series. Only at Outback. I did find it weird that Mark Daigneault very clearly was like, oh, we need to change it up. It's 2-2. You're at home. Like, it seemed very strange to get out of your sort of rhythm, out of your rotation. Like, Giddey's barely been playing anyway, right? 12 minutes a game as a starter or a benchman. It doesn't really matter. But it probably matters to the way that your offense is flowing when he's playing with, like, the specific dudes that he's used to playing with and the guys that are used to playing with him. Like, it wasn't Giddey's fault they lose this game, but it just sort of seemed weird that their offense would get bogged down and dudes like Jalen Williams and Chet and stuff. There's a reason why they're missing all these threes, right? Like, maybe Giddey isn't throwing every third pass to them on a fucking platter. Just saying. Just saying. And also the Cavs just going, oh, we'll try really hard, but then we'll just be a bit shit. Can you piss the coach off, please? Definite whiff of that. All right, Strayan Player Watch. I've already gone through this, but let's do it quickly again. Josh Giddey comes off the bench today, 12 minutes. Mark Daigneault hates Australia as well. He shot 5 of 8 to our man Gids. He had a couple of ones that just sort of bounced in and out. You're like, oh, geez, that went in. Sure. 1 of 3 from downtown. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 total points. He was only a -3 in a game that they lost by 12. Just saying, 12 minutes, not bad. Not bad. On the other side, Josh Green played 18 minutes. He scored 5 points. He went 2 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 5 from downtown. He missed a couple of those threes pretty badly too. And like, it sucks as an Australian basketball fan to just be like, can you guys please just fucking hit a shot? Like, please. I'm like, can we just have one dead-eye shooter who's playing in these fucking playoffs? Anyway. 1 of 5 from downtown. He had 2 rebounds, 3 assists and a steal. Pretty bloody good. And Dante Sexton up Exum. As I mentioned, Jaden Hardy took his minutes. Hardy played 15. Dante didn't get out there until the very last second, so zeros across the board. All right. What about an Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA Award for outstanding achievement in the field of excellence? I already mentioned this. This should be like an old man award, though, because...
It's the first annual Andrew Gaze Gray MAMBA.
Outstanding achievement in
yeah, it's Al Horford, because he's older than shit, and today ripped off a couple of pretty impressive feats, right? So Al Horford became the 3rd player ever in the history of the playoffs to be 37 plus years old and have a 20-point, 15 rebound and 5 assist game in history. In NBA history, it's now LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Al fucking Horford who have done that. That's awesome. Like, anytime you're on a list with LeBron and Kareem, fucking hell, mate. And then the other one, he's also now the official oldest NBA player with a 15 plus point, 10 plus rebound, 5 made threes game in the playoff history. The oldest player ever. That is awesome. And that is absolute excellence. So what I'm hearing here, Gerald, is that there's still hope for your mate Jim yet. Even though I'm older than Al Horford. Fuck. Oh, that doesn't work. Shit. Anyway, let's do... well, that all fell apart quickly. Let's do a bit of a Paddy Mills Gameday Baller Gameday Twitter check-in. Let's do it. Oh, we got a Jock Lando one. Oh, Hot Stones. Jesus. Oh, no, cups. Not Hot Stones, it's those weird cup things. Are they any good, Gerald? Have you ever done that? Nah, I've never done it. I don't trust that. Looks weird. Make your back look weird. It's like, here's a bunch of circles on your back. Are you relaxed? I'm like, no. I just had a million fucking things sucking on my back like it's a fucking alien or some shit. If I want to do that, I'll just go kick an octopus. Anyway, from Roz Sports. Good on you, Jock. Oh, there's a picture of him and the missus on the beach having a cuddle. They're in a desert. I don't know. It's a very flat fucking beach. And then him and his mate. Boom. Oh, it's Tom Mitchell. Oh, that's nice. Isn't he dealing with his appendix? There we go. Ball magnets. He's jumped on there. That's good. On you, Jock. Come on our show. What the fuck are you doing? Someone yell at Jock Landau and tell him to come on this show. I'd fucking love to have a sit down and hang out. All right, let's do a game preview for tomorrow because there's only one. Game preview. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. That was a very weird one, wasn't it? I don't know what happened to my voice, Jim. It was quite strange. That's better. 0 of 2 on the picks today. We were crushing it too. I think we're running around at 60%. We're probably back down to about 55 after today, so that's a bit of a kick in the dick. Tomorrow, Denver are, amazingly, 2.5-point underdogs, I believe, in Minnesota, though. So that's pretty interesting. Why do you say interesting, Jim? Well, it means they're on the road. They've won 3 on the trot. I actually probably want to go with the Denver Nuggets because, 2.5-point underdogs in Minnesota. Which makes sense because Minnesota, they do have an Ant-Man game just like waiting, right? He just goes fucking hammer and tongs. Here's 50 on your head. Karl Anthony Towns at least gives them 20 at some point in that same game, possibly to get over the top of Denver. But the way that Denver looked in the last 3, I can't go against Denver. That'd just be stupid. Like this series has been absolutely gnarly. All the away teams win the first 4. Then Denver go, yeah, it was a cute trend. Fuck you. Bang. We're at home. We're winning. Minnesota, the defense, it was weird that everyone was sort of dragging Rudy Gobert. Like I made him pantsing of the night for the way that Jokic just fucking tanned him. But at the same time, Rudy, who else is going to fucking play defense on him? It's ridiculous. So the Joker played an all-time game in Game 5. You expect maybe a little bit of a drop-off, but Aaron Air Gordon's been incredible. Michael Porter Jr. shows up. Yeah, I think they can do this. Minnesota, I think I've sort of keyed in on this. The simple idea, they didn't have Mike Conley last game either. If he's back for this, you'd probably give Minnesota a chance, but I'm going to still take the 2.5 points for Denver. I trust them more because I don't trust Minnesota. That's right at all. So let's go the Nugs, plus 2.5 for tomorrow. So that is actually at 10:30 tomorrow morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Is that what we're on? Yep, sure. Gerald nodded, so it's all good. Saturday is when we have Knicks Pacers. So the schedule makers are like, yeah, we'll probably start seeing some drop-off, so we'll spread it out a little bit. I'm like, that's fine. At the same time, you're also breaking my balls here. But Denver, Minnesota, Game 6 tomorrow. Knicks Pacers on Saturday, Game 6 in Indy. The Pacers are 5.5-point favorites there. And then Game 6, Thunder, Dallas. Dallas are 4.5-point favorites at the moment. We'll see if those actually move by the time we talk about them on tomorrow's show. But hey, that's just a little bit of a setup. At the moment, I'd probably take the Knicks plus 5.5 and the Mavs minus 4.5. But either way, Dallas, interesting one. I don't know how that's going to work out. They could really easily shit down their leg and still actually win that. But anyway, I'm taking Denver tomorrow. All right, there we go. That's it for Dad Day. So, we might have a guest on tomorrow's show. So keep your ears pinned for that one. Should be good. I'm excited about it, actually. Hasn't been on the show for a while, so it'll be pretty good. We will obviously be back tomorrow, though, to do a show. So in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey IG. We're all over the socials. You know that. Get around the AFL Today show. We are about to do the Thursday night team show as well, which is always a cracker one. Sort of go through every sort of game, pick and preview all that sort of gear, but also the other dumb fun stuff that we do each show. It's AFL Today. It's really fun. Go check it out. You can get around the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast as well. They are both gearing up for what? T20 World Cup and the Euros, which is pretty fun. Rate and review all of them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you use on your weird Android phones, do that, would you? But YouTube, you can watch this as well. You can see me wearing this T-shirt, hanging out. Gerald's over there. You can't see him. Should we get a Gerald cam? Just saying. We should just cut to him every time he pops up, just shaking his head going, Jim, don't talk to me. Don't fucking talk to me. I'm sick of this. He gets so angry. It's amazing. Anyway, get around NBAstraya.com. Throwing him under the bus. He doesn't get angry. NBAstraya.com/shop. Get your merch. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule. Go check out their other band as well. House Hats, as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Section I, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands. So should you. Fun show. Dunskies. We'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And later, Hosanna.